Yes? Alright. So, day one, we're talking about properties in triangles and midsegments. Okay, I think I reprinted your notes, so you should have this definition. Yeah, you guys have this definition already. The triangle sum theorem, which we did last unit, says the sum of two sides of a triangle must be greater than the third side. Okay, so if we look below that, this is the part that I told you was going to be a repeat. Okay, let's practice this some more. It says, can a triangle have sides with a given length? What I want to check for first is that my numbers are in order. Okay, 3, 7, and 8. Is that in order from least to greatest? All right, so let's rewrite that. 3, 7, and 8. And what I'm doing is I'm seeing if I add my first two numbers, are they greater than my third number? So what's 3 plus 7? Is 10 greater than 8? Yes, so this could be a triangle. You guys remember doing this on your test? Okay. Some of you did very well on it, but we're just going to review a little bit. All right, number 2. I have 5, 10, and 15. Which two numbers I want to add together? All right, so if I add 5 and 10, I want to see if it's greater than 15. It's equal to, so that means that 15 is not greater than 15 because it is equal to. So we're going to write the word no. That does not work. On number 3, I'm going to add 2 plus 6 and see if it's greater than 9. What's 2 plus 6?
8.
Is 8 greater than 9?
No.
No. All right, number 4, you guys can work out on the side. They want us to choose which one could possibly be dimensions of a triangular garden. What I want to do is off to the side, I have 4 plus 5 is greater than 10. Well, what's 4 plus 5? Is 9 greater than 10? No. Cross out F. What about G? 6 plus 6 is what?
12.
Is 12 greater than 12? Nope. Letter H, what's 6 plus 8?
14.
Is 14 greater than my third side of 10?
Yes.
Yes. And just to be sure, I checked my last answer. 8 plus 12 is 20. That is not greater than 20, so H is my answer. I know I'm going through that kind of fast, but we understand that, right? We just did it. That's basically the review. All right, number 5 says, given the two sides of a triangle, what are the possible lengths of the third side? Okay, so what we did here was, at first we learned the inequality way of doing it. And the inequality way is, what if I had the numbers 3 and 8 and x? Okay? If I were to take my two lowest numbers and add them together to see if they were greater than x, that's one option. My second option is, what if x was my smallest number? They didn't tell me what x was. All they did was say, you have these two sides with the possible third side. So in this case, we would have x plus 3 and see if it's greater than 8. Let's look at the first problem here. What's 3 plus 8? We have 11 is greater than x. That's one option. My second option, how do I solve the blue problem? How do I get x myself? Subtract 3, right? So I'm left with x is greater than 5. What we did was we made a compound inequality by basically saying x is in the middle, right? It is going to be greater than something and less than something. Out of these two answers, x will be greater than what? What's your smaller number? 5, and it will be less than 11. You guys remember that? Yeah. Okay, so that's the official way of doing it. We did it with a shortcut. My shortcut, take a look at number 6. We just added them together and subtracted them together, right? So, what's 5 plus 12? Actually, I'll switch that around. Don't write that. We always do big number and little number. So we can do 12 plus 5, just to be consistent. And then 12 minus 5. What's 12 minus 5? Huh? 7. Alright, on your test, I gave you x is greater than a number and x is less than a number. What number goes first? 17 or 7? 7. And my second number? 17. That is the easiest way to do it. I'm not going to make you guys do it the inequality way. If you want to just add up both numbers and then subtract both numbers, then you'll get your inequality. But you guys know how to put it into this equality compound. Alright, let's turn the page. Alright, number 7. I want to find that third side. So, I need to know what goes in these blanks. Diana, what do I do first if I want to add them together? Yep, let's always do big number first. So 21 plus 7 gives me 28. Sydney was my second part. I already added it, now I'm going to do what? Subtract it. So we're going to have 21 minus 7. What does that give me? 14. So in my inequality, which number comes first? 14. So x is greater than 14 and x is less than 28. I want you guys to do number 8. So the same way. Alright, Sam, what did you get for this one?
8 plus 5 plus 13.
Alright, so you did 8 plus 5, so you get 13, and then?
And then 8 minus 5.
Alright, so x is greater than what?
3.
3, and x is less than? Good. That should be your answer for that one. X is greater than 3, and x is less than 13. Alright, this is the part we really have to practice, because on your test, it will say, like, write the angles, and you guys are writing the sides. So we have to make sure that we know what they're asking us to do. In a triangle, the longest side is across from the largest angle. And in a triangle, the shortest side is across from the smallest angle. They go hand in hand. So look at number 9. Actually, look at your directions first. This is the big part of it. Write the angles in order from least to greatest. If you don't pay attention to that, it's going to be wrong. Okay, so we're doing least to greatest. Let's look at my sides first, because I don't even know what my angles are. Okay, my sides can tell me how to put my angles in order. Which side is the least side? 4. So if that's my smallest side, or my shortest side, what's my smallest angle? What's directly across from that?
D.
Angle D. Which number comes next? 7. So which angle comes next?
E.
Oh, is mine cut off? Is yours cut off? No? Alright, I'll make that change. Alright, so this is really E. So that's we have angle E. The last one is a no-brainer. 9 is my longest side, so my biggest angle is going to be F. DEF. So number 10, I'm still doing least to greatest. I have sides 15, 16, and 17. Sydney, which side is my shortest side? 15. So which angle is directly across from that?
Z.
Good. So I'm going to do angle Z is my smallest angle. Diana, which number comes next? Which side is the shortest side now?
16.
16. So which angle corresponds with that side? It's directly across from it. S. All right, and Brian, what side is left? 17. So which angle is the largest angle?
1.
Angle Y. So we have Z, X, and Y. On your test, I think it said, like, name the sides from longest to shortest. A lot of you did shortest to longest, which means you got 2 points off out of 3 because your only right answer was the one in the middle. Okay, you would have got it all right had you read the directions. All right, so this one, it says we have triangle GBR. Before you even start, draw a picture. And you can draw your picture however you want. You can draw your angle however you want. I typically just draw this angle all the time. And I'm going to name it GBR. Now your angle, you may have your letters in different places. It does not matter. It does not matter at all. As long as you know, if it says GB equals 7, I'm going to put a 7 there. GR is 8, so I find line GR. That's going to be 8. And BR is 11, so I write 11 there. You could do your angle, you could do your triangle upside down and name it RBG. Same thing. You find GB, make that 7. You find GR, make that 8. You find BR, make that 11. So it doesn't really matter how you draw your angle. If you want to copy my angle for now, that's fine, but on your test, it's really fine. All right, so now we're still putting them in order from least to greatest. Do you have directions on this one?
No.
Okay, so we're still doing, okay. So what's my smallest angle going to be?
R.
What's my next angle?
B.
Angle B. What's my largest angle?
G.
Angle G. You guys agree with that? That's from smallest angle to largest angle. For number 12, we're going to draw it again, a triangle DEF. DEF. DE was 8, EF 6, and DF was 10. Notice this time my first letter went to the bottom here. It doesn't matter. You can just put it wherever you want. Just make sure that your letters are matching up with whatever numbers you have. All right, Stephanie, what's my smallest angle? Well, 6 is my smallest side, so which angle is directly across from that? Yep, so angle D. Jackie, what comes next? Yep, angle F. And what about my largest angle? Anybody?
E.
Oh, come on. Why did you do this to me? Alright, you should have angles DEF. Wait, DFE, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's all the old stuff. That's a review of what we did last unit. Well, almost. Now we have the sides. All right, in a triangle, the biggest angle is across from the longest side. And in a triangle, the smallest angle is across from the shortest side. All right, so number 13, write your sides of the triangle in order from longest to shortest. That's important. We're now doing longest to shortest. All right, so which one is my biggest angle here? 80. So which side do I need to go first? My longest side is going to be what? XC. Because we're doing the longest to the shortest side. So I picked my largest angle. The side right across from that is XC. All right. Which number comes next, 70 or 30?
70.
Which one? We're going from longest to shortest. Will be 70, right? What side is directly across from that? Y and Z. It does not matter if you flip-flop those letters either. And so what's my longest side then, or my shortest side going to be? XY. That's across from the 30. You guys struggle with number 14 on your test and they did not give you the other angle. You have to fill in that extra angle. There's how many degrees inside of a triangle? 180, right? I already have 100 degrees here because 60 plus 40 is 100, so what's left over? 80, so angle C is right in 80 degrees. Now that I have that, now I can figure out what's my longest side. Diana, what's the longest side of number 14? Good, BD. Diana, look to see that we had 80 was my biggest angle, the side opposite of that was BD. All right, what comes next?
CD.
60 degrees is next, so that points to CD. And then my shortest side is going to be BC. All right, and number 14, let's draw a picture. They're giving us angles here. There's no way we can do this in our mind, so let's go ahead and draw a picture. We have angle A, angle B, and angle C. What did they tell me angle A was? 65 degrees. What about angle B? 15, angle C is 100. Clearly, these angles are not drawn to scale, because we just sketched it out. We don't know, we're not going to be able to draw that angle C is the largest one, but it doesn't matter, we're just looking at the numbers here. We're still going from our largest side, right? Sorry, longest side. Yeah. All right, so, which number is biggest? 100, so which side is the longest? AB or BA? Same thing. All right, which one comes next? Which side?
BC.
Okay, across from 65 degrees is BC. And then my shortest side is going to be AC. Are you guys understanding this?
Yeah.
Okay, I know I'm going through it kind of quickly, but that's because it's a review. And we have one more here. Draw your triangle. X, Y, and Z. So once you label it, we're going to label it with our numbers. X was 17 degrees, Y was 42 degrees, and Z was 121 degrees. What's my longest side going to be?
Well, that should be changing now that Chris is going to have a new sheet.
Okay, so now we're talking about mid-segments, okay? Mid-segments of a triangle says that every triangle has 3 mid-segments. If we take a look at this picture over here to the right, you guys see the letters in red, right? These are my midpoints. We know what a midpoint is, right? There's something about this side of the board that makes it a little off. Okay, so your mid-segments are basically the line that connects your midpoint. Does that make sense? All right. So a triangle will always have 3 mid-segments because you have 3 lines. So there'll be a midpoint of each line. So your mid-segment theorem says if a segment joins the midpoints of 2 sides of a triangle, then it is parallel to the third side. I abbreviated or did my symbol for parallel. You can write it out if you want. So what that means, when it says it is parallel to the third side, here's a mid-segment, DE, it is parallel to AC. Off to the side, we're going to write DE is parallel to AC. The other thing that we know is that it is half the length of the third side. So DE is half of this last side here of AC. So we're going to put it is half the length of the third side. So we can write this as DE is equal to half of AC, right? This line is half of the bottom line. Or you can write AC equals 2 times DE. When we're solving problems, I like to use this one more because anything without a fraction is just better, honestly. You limit your mistakes. But write both of those down. All right, so let's turn the page. Here's where we really get into it. Look at your first example, number 17. It says the triangle QRS, which is the whole thing, TU and V are midpoints. So that means T, U, and V are midpoints because it is the middle of each of those lines. They want to know what are the lengths of TU, UV, QT, and QR. Here's what we do. Okay, make sure you guys pay attention to this. Depending on how you look at this triangle, you can look at it for 3 different ways. Okay? You guys see this side of QS? QS is how long? What does it say? 50. So, do you guys see another line that's parallel to QS? It looks shorter. No, parallel means it goes in the same area. You guys see UV? Do you guys see how those are parallel? So we're looking at the triangle like this way, right? If this whole thing is 50, UV is gonna be half of that. So what is UV going to be? 25, write that in. UV is 25. Based on how we're looking at it. Alright, now let's look at this side over here. RS is how long? What's that number? Alright, we see this 40, right? Alright, so what is parallel to RS? Can you guys see that UT is parallel to that? Yes? Okay, so if SR is 40, what is half of that? 20, so UT is going to be 20. Alright, we have one more. This side does not have a number. Diana, what side is parallel to QR? T what? No, remember if it's parallel, it has to go the same direction. So what else goes that same direction? TV. You guys get what I mean by what's parallel? If we look at this, if you take your pencil and lay it across QR and just bring it down, it's the same as TV, right? Okay, Diana, if the short one is 30, what's my long piece going to be if I have to double it? 60. So that means from this part all the way down is going to be 60. So now I filled out each side of my triangle for the long sides and each side for my short sides. Now I can fill this out. What is TU?
20.
TU is 20. What about UB? 25. What about QT? Oh, we didn't do QT. Alright, let's look at QT for a second. I'm going to put this in blue. You guys see how, if it's a midpoint, each of these sides will be the same. Good. So if this whole thing is 50 and I want to split it in half, it's going to be what? This is 25 and this is 25. So QT is 25. It also matches UB. If we break this up, QT and UB are the same. So they're all going to be 25. And what about QR? That's what we just solved. 60. Alright, midpoint and mid-segments are not super easy, but if you just take your pencil and try to figure out how you can figure out what's parallel, then you'll be good. You basically have a big triangle and then a small triangle. Alright, let's look at the mid-segment in number 18. What is parallel to that long piece that I just highlighted? The one that's labeled 6x, right? Which one is going to be bigger? The 72, right? Because it's longer. Okay? That means that you need two of these to equal this. If you think back to what we just wrote down, the one that we starred, your longer side equals 2 of your smaller side. So my longer side is going to be what? What's my longer side? 72, and that equals 2 of my short side. What's my short side? 6x. If you want me to solve for x, that's how we do it. They're not equal to each other, but we need 2 of the small ones to equal 1 of the big ones. You can put this in Desmos, or we can solve. What's 2 times 6x? 12x, right? Now how do I solve for x? Divide by 12. So x equals, you should get 6. If you wanted to check yourself and plug in 6 for this x, 6 times 6 is 36, which is half of 72. So we did it right. All right, let's practice with number 19. Which two lines are parallel to each other? Okay, 5x plus 12, and what else is parallel? All right, which one is smaller? The 3x one, right? So when I set this up, what's my longer side? 5x plus 12 equals how many of my short side?
2.
So we're going to do 2 times 3x. So I'm doing this twice. 2 times that is equal to 5x plus 12. That's what we're doing here. All right, if I want to solve, I have 5x plus 12, which is equals to 2 times 3x, which is 6x. How do I solve for x?
Subtract 5.
I'm going to subtract 5x. And I'm left with 12 is equal to 1x. Now what?
Divide by 1.
Divide by 1. So x is equal to 12. Does that make sense what we're doing there, guys? Your short mid-segment and your long mid-segment? Alright, for number 20, I want you guys to think about some things. Do you guys see these hash marks? Like 1 hash mark and 1 hash mark. Then we have 3 and 3, and then 2 and 2. That means that these two are congruent, those two are congruent, and those two are congruent. If you have the same hash mark, then it's going to be congruent to each other. So look at your directions. DF equals what?
24.
So I want you guys to do exactly what I'm doing. That whole side is 24. That's what they told us, DF. What is BC?
6.
BC is 6. Write 6 right there. What about DB?
8.
8. They're asking us for the perimeter. The perimeter means that we need all sides of the outside triangle. Okay? Right now, I just have one of my outside. I still need DA and I need AF. Let's see what we can fill out. Let's look at the green. That has 1 hash mark. So if DB is 8, what is BA going to be?
8.
8. Do we all understand that? Yes or no? Danny, you got that? Okay, so that means that this side of DA is going to equal what? What's 8 plus 8? 16. All right, we got that side. All right, let's look at the bottom. This BC is parallel to what? AE and AF, right? The whole thing. So, if BC is 6, Diana, what's AE going to be? Look at this here. Do you see how they're both the same line, right? If this is 6, what's EF going to be?
6.
That's also 6 because my hash marks are matching. So from A to F equals what, Sam? 12. And just so we can fill this out, Jackie, let's look at DF for a second. The whole side is 24. What's each piece going to be? If they have to be the same, what's 24 divided by 2? 12. So that means that this would be 12 and CF would be 12. But for the perimeter, what I need to know are all my outside numbers. So that part was 16, DF was 24, and AF was 12. So if I want to find the perimeter, you're going to add them all up. What's 24 plus 16 plus 12. All right, someone else check Ryan and see if he's right. Good, should get 52. So I used the information that they gave us to figure out what the outside triangle was. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop right there. I'm going to do the last part with you before next lesson because it's going to take some time and we need to use Desmos. So we'll do this problem next class. All right, so your homework is homework A.